Namaskar. Our Prime Minister spoke about Lakshadweep. Some of his followers magnified it. Maldives all of a sudden got very insecure. Some of their junior ministers started writing derogatory tweets. Relationship soared. Boycott Maldives became a big time hashtag. It became a trending hashtag. All of this you know because this was happening in the last 3 days. So all of this you know. I'm sure you must have seen a lot of people talk about the story and you must be knowing all the details. But what I want you to know is nationalism good if it actually infringes our national interest? Or is hyper-nationalism infringing our national interest? Let's talk about that today and let's get right into the show. So, our Prime Minister, he went to Lakshadweep. And after he went to Lakshadweep, he wrote in his Instagram, he said, "I'm still in awe of the stunning beauty of its islands and the incredible warmth of its people." He's mentioning Lakshadweep. He said, "For those who wish to embrace the adventure in them, Lakshadweep has to be on your list." So the Prime Minister was promoting Lakshadweep. He was promoting Lakshadweep as a tourist destination. Mind you, he has not said anything against any country or Maldives or anybody, any country. He has not said anything about any country. He just praised his own country's Lakshadweep. That's all he did. Now, the moment he wrote this in Instagram, of course, a lot of followers, a lot of people who follow him, some of them started comparing Lakshadweep with Maldives and how Lakshadweep is better than Maldives and all that happened in Twitter and other social media. Now, like in India, there are stupid leaders everywhere. And I think Maldives also has their share of such leaders. Leaders who talk without thinking. People who talk without thinking, and some of their junior minister, assistant ministers and all, whatever they are, some junior minister, a lady called Mariam Shiuna, if I hope I'm pronouncing it right. She is the Deputy Minister for Youth Empowerment, Information and Arts. That is her job. She is some Deputy Minister. She wrote, "What a clown." And she was calling a Prime Minister of another country, and a country which is 1,000 times more powerful than hers. She is writing as a minister that, "What a clown, the puppet of Israel, Mr. Narendra driver with life jacket visited whatever. Okay, so this lady wrote. Now, like I said, they also have followers. They also have stupid leaders. So another stupid leader who is Deputy Minister Malsha Sharif also posted similar derogatory remarks. Malsha Sharif also posted. One more minister, I think, Abdullah Mahzoom Majid. All these young leaders, Chutku leaders, they posted against the Prime Minister. And they started writing derogatory remarks against India. Some of them against Hindus. Now, this grew and it grew into a hashtag called #boycott Maldives and all that, and major. And a lot of our celebrities, our film stars and all, Akshay Kumar, everybody started, doing hashtags, some of them with wrong pictures, but, saying boycott Maldives. Okay, so all that happened. Now, in one way, if you look at it, it is quite natural for a lot of people to react. It is quite natural for a lot of people to react is because, see, when you say something against your own country, when you read something against your own country, one gets angry and one reacts badly at times. Because you spoke bad about my country, I will speak bad about your country. So, to that extent, one understands. One also understands about our celebrities because some of our celebrities they have to write, okay, they have to show that they are nationalist. So they have to write, they may go and party in Maldives, but they have to write that Baba, Maldives, when it comes to Manipur, when it comes to Bilkis Banu, when it comes to wrestlers and all, they will not write, because that is not showing that they are nationalists. But when such things come, they will all write. So all of that is okay. One understands it. ठीक है ना यार, ये सब होता है. This happens, which is fine. But the question I ask is, like I said before, is hyper-nationalism harming our national interest? Now let us come to the second segment of our editorial. You see, there was till now, that is 2023, the president of Maldives was this gentleman called Ibrahim Mohammed Soli. He was the president from 2018 to 2023. Now, Ibrahim Soli, or let us call him Soli, was completely pro-India. He had this concept of India first. He was very close to India. He was very close to the Prime Minister. He was very close to Indians. So, our military base was there. We were doing research together in their oceans and all of that. So, he was very close to India and he was bringing the country closer to India. So, we were working very closely with Maldives. In fact, I'm sure you must have heard this. It is easier to travel to Maldives than to travel to Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep, you have a lot of documentation to do. Maldives, it's easier to travel. It's a visa on arrival. All. That said, so the Soli was very close to us. Then came his competitor. Now this competitor, his name is Mohammed Maizu. Mohammed Maizu, the core of his campaign was India out. He would say, we don't want any foreign military boots in Maldives, Baba. He said, I promise this to the people of Maldives that I will keep up to my promise from the day one. He said, I will throw India out. Why do you require Indian military in Maldives? So I am going to throw Indian military out. He says, I would grow closer to China because China ke paas India se zyada paisa hai. China has got more money than India. I am giving you very simple explanations. I am not getting into major this thing and all that. But simply he says, I would rather friends with China because China has more money than India and I will throw India out. I don't want India. This was his election plank and he won the election. So as it happens, when he was very anti-India, I'm sure all these junior ministers also started writing. So this is how it all happened. So he's created an environment of anti-India, especially amongst his followers and people who believes in his ideology. Now mind you, that being said, Maldives also has a Soli crowd even now, Soli followers even now, who still believes, who still are pro-India. So Maldives within is also ideologically and idea-wise diverse. They are still diverse. There are people who like India, there are people who dislike India. As on now, the government that is there dislikes India. Okay? So we understood the Maldives political situation. Now let us go further. This person, this new minister, Maizu, this Maizu has been funded by China. They say this Maizu's entire political party, which is called as the People's National Congress, Mohammed Maizu, this entire political party is funded by China. This is what is said. Now, right, wrong, otherwise, I don't know. But this is what is said. Looks right. Why? Because normally, after winning an election and all that, the first port that a president of Maldives goes is India. They visit India first as their first foreign tour. Our man didn't. Our man went to Turkey and then now he is in China. So very clearly, he is anti-India, pro-China. ठीक है ना? This is the situation. तो Soli का वक्त खत्म. Now Maizu का वक्त. Maizu anti-India. Let's keep that aside. See, there are certain times where it is not about nationalism. It is about national interest. Why I say that? In Marathi there is a verse called दोघांचे भांडण तिसऱ्याचे लाभ. Which means when two people fight, it is the third person who is benefiting. Who is the third person here? Third person is that gentleman sitting in China called Xi Jinping. You see, what China is trying to do is China is trying to get inroads into Maldives. China is trying to build bridges for them, the Maldives-China friendship bridge and all they are trying to build so that they get inroads into Maldives. They are flooding Maldives with cash, flooding Maldives with money so that Maldives becomes debt trapped. Maldives gets into debt trap with China, which is what they want. And the fact is, Maldives has thrown out our military. Whose military do you think will come and occupy that place? Acha. Now look at it. Now look at the map. Maldives, if it is infested with Chinese military, Chinese intelligence, how safe is it for India? Third point. Third point is, you see, we have a problem with Pakistan. We have a problem with Bangladesh. We have a problem with Nepal. We have a problem with Sri Lanka. We have a problem now with Maldives. Hare, if we have a problem with everybody and every neighbor of ours, and China, do you think China is going to sit back and just relax and say, chalo, hone do? China is going to take absolute advantage of this. All their belts and road initiatives and all will be put up there. They will spend billions of dollars there. Billions of dollars there so that they can control these countries around us, surrounding us. Is that good for us? Now think about it. Think about it. In our nationalism, we are fighting boycott that, boycott this. See, our tourism percentage, I will tell you, is something like 11%. Okay, our tourism percentage to Maldives is something like 11%, which is bigger. It is not small. I am not saying it is small. And some 2 lakh odd people, I think, visited. 2,09,000 people visited. Okay, na? So 11%. So chalo, we boycott and all that, and that comes down by 11%. Do you think that is going to be end of Maldives? What if China starts replacing? What if China starts doing them more favors? What if China starts helping them with their tourism? What if China starts pouring in more people there? What happens then? Is that safe for us? Is that good for us? So, you see, these Twitter war and ghar pe baith ke, I say, armchair, armchair patriotism, all this may harm us. All this may harm us going against Maldives and all that. They're a small country. At times, maybe you have to kind of treat them with kid gloves. You have to forgive at times. And leave it to our External Affairs Ministry, leave it to our Prime Minister and others to manage that. They will manage it in their own way. They will manage it diplomatically. हम लोग बैठ के गाली देने से कुछ नहीं होगा. It is only going to harm your country's interest. Because every time you are striking Maldives, when I say striking, I mean all your social media and all our film stars and all, putting Macau's picture and claiming it to be Maldives and all that. All that when it's happening, mind you, you are harming your own country's interest. Every time you do that, every time 1 inch China comes closer to them. And you are making this president's statement of Mohammad Maizou's statement of India out policy, you are endorsing that statement. Because the people today who are with you will go against you. Today, even today, a lot of Maldivians are for India. Even today, as we speak. And people like Soli are trying to get them, consolidate them so that next election he could win. But if we behave this way, we are only going to harm our own self. That's what I said, that is, at times hyper-nationalism harms our national interest. ठीक है ना? चलो, 2 points. I'm sure a lot of other people also have said this, and like rightly so, I'm sure you have heard of all this. Now, let me get into Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is a very interesting topic. Lakshadweep has this administrator called Praful Koda Patel. Praful Koda Patel. He was once upon a time the Home Minister of Gujarat, and then hardcore BJP person, and he was put in as administrator in Lakshadweep. Acha. When he became the administrator of Lakshadweep, you know what he did? You know what were the rules that he passed? A lot of them Kerala High Court stayed, but you know what the rules that he passed? I'll just take you through the rules that he had passed. Like I said, a lot of them put a stay on. The rules that he passed was one, that introduction of Lakshadweep Development Authority regulations that gives administrator the power to acquire any land for development and relocate people without allowing legal challenges against it, with provision of harsh punishment for those who resist it. His first rule was, मेरे को ये जगह अच्छा लगा ना गवर्नमेंट को, whoever is staying there उठा के बाहर निकालेगा and we'll take that place. You resist and I will punish you. Arey, it doesn't even sound like a democracy. It doesn't even sound like a democracy. Acha, how many celebrities, film stars, big people and all that, how many of them tweeted saying that, hey, ye kya hai? How fair is that? Now they are all standing for Lakshadweep. No, they are saying Lakshadweep is beautiful, that, this and all. That time they didn't think about it. That time they didn't say, poor Lakshadweep, our place, our people, our island, beautiful island, pristine island, awesome island. They didn't say that. Now they are saying it. So, nationalism seems to be subjective, isn't it? Here, Acha, I will tell you the second case. 7 points I want to tell you. Second point I will tell you. A ban on consumption and sale, storage and transportation of beef product in the Muslim majority island territory. That was point number 2. Point number 3, a ban on non-vegetarian food in a Muslim dominated island. Ban on non-vegetarian food, which is beef and chicken, for noon meal programs in school. 4th, disqualification of people with more than 2 children from contesting in panchayat elections. So if you have more than 2 children, no, you can't contest in panchayat election. Mind you, this is a Muslim dominated area. So he's saying you give birth to more than 2 children, your fundamental right of contesting for the election is taken away from you. Where was the tweet? How many people tweeted? Saying that, my Lakshadweep, my people, my pristine islands, my love, my land. How many people tweeted? Okay, let me take you further. Introduction of the Anti-Gunda Act, under which anyone could be jailed for up to a year without a reason, with the potential for it to be misused in an island so far known for its very low crime rate. You see, when do you put Gunda Raj and Punda Raj and all that? When crime rate goes up and all that, then you say, Baba, crime rate is going up, you have to act. So you put Anti-Gunda Act and all that. This island hardly had crime rate, low crime rate, and you put Anti-Gunda Act, and you have the right to arrest a person, put him behind bars for 1 year minimum, just without any reason. Without any reason, without on the basis of, I doubt, I think this man is bad, I think this man is Gunda, so put him behind bars. Who tweeted? Who said? My Lakshadweep. Bad. Who said this? Okay. Now, let me go further. Let me take you to point 6. Allowing sale of liquor in resorts in populated islands, thus lifting the age-old restriction of use of alcohol there. He lifted the alcohol restrictions. He lifted the ban on alcohol. To some extent, I will agree to him, because such beautiful places should be used for tourists, should be open for tourists, should be made for tourist visits, and having alcohol, non-veg and all that, one should look at global audience, not at local audience. And so to that extent, I agree to him. But the fact is, you put ban on non-veg in schools and ban on beef and all, and you open alcohol, ये मुझे नहीं समझा. Alcohol पी सकते हो, लेकिन वो vegetarian के साथ खाना पीना चाहिए. You can't have alcohol with non-vegetarian. So the point that I'm trying to make is, at one level, you have bans, and another level you lift the ban. So that was point number 6. And point number 7 is demolition of fishermen's work sheds built along the coast alleged violation of coastal zone norms. It's an island. The major business is fishing. So you are demolishing strings of fishermen's work sheds in the name of violation of coastal zone norms. Efforts to transfer movement of freight from Lakshadweep to Mangalore port in BJP ruled Karnataka instead of Kochi and Baipur ports in Kerala. So, diverted to Karnataka, the ports from Lakshadweep to Karnataka, not Lakshadweep to Kochi. So, all these was done by this administrator, who's still the administrator, by the way, Mr. Koda. He has done all this. Praful Koda Patel. He put all these norms. Like I told you, some of these norms were stayed by the government of Kerala. So then nobody objected. Then nobody tweeted. Then nobody thought Lakshadweep was their own. Now everybody thinks that Lakshadweep is our crown and glory, which is very nice for Lakshadweep. But I only hope that we build that kind of infrastructure for Lakshadweep. We build that kind of place to ensure that tourists can come in. We build it, we make it, we have enough drinking water there. We have enough place there, airports there, airlines there, so on and so forth. So all that we have to. But that being said, the overall story that I wanted to communicate to you today is that, listen, at times, nationalism is always good. But nationalism that harms our national interest may actually harm our national interest. And that's the point I wanted to make today. Till I see you next time, that's tomorrow at 10. Namaskar.
Stay ahead with our cutting edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.